guys, what's up? It's Morgan and Angie with the shift from people pleasing to empowered connection. Today we are talking about people pleasing and why it is not as noble as you might think. Now, there's several reasons why we think not only is people pleasing a great thing to do, but it's actually very noble. And here's why we think that. Reason number one, we equate people pleasing with giving and with kindness. So of course we want to give and be kind. We've all been taught from young ages that giving service is one of the best things that you could do. Making people happy is one of the best things you can do. So of course we would think that being a people pleaser is one of the best things that you could do. Mm-hmm. Reason number two that we want to people please and we think it's a noble thing to do is because we want to keep the peace. We want to keep everyone happy. We want to feel like we're keeping harmony within our family and our friends. So of course, it feels like people pleasing is noble. So Angie, tell us why it is that despite these, what seemingly are very good reasons for people pleasing, tell us why that's really not the case. Why people pleasing is not as noble as we think.
Well, for the first one that you said about, we equate people pleasing with giving and being kind, like who doesn't love to give, right? The reason that it's not noble is because a lot of times we will give with conditions attached, with strings attached. I mean, have you ever given to somebody and thought, well, if I do that for her, maybe she'll do this for me later on down the road. And so it is normal to feel that way. But that's not as noble, right? If we're going to give and with conditions, we want to be able to give unconditionally and truly do it from a place of love and not expecting something in return. Because then we're free. We don't have these attachments. We're free.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we don't have to get disappointed when we give and give and give and we don't get back what we were actually hoping for. Exactly. Instead, we give out of our hearts, and then whatever we receive back, we gracefully accept.
And I've heard someone call that, what you just described, Morgan, people charming. So if you need to give it a label of a distinction, you could call it people charming, where you're just giving without condition. Yeah. The second thing that you mentioned was we want to keep the peace. And I know this was a big part of my story. And that is also not noble. I mean, at first glance, yeah, it sounds like it, but it's not noble because, first of all, it's exhausting. And also, if you think about it, if we're always trying to keep the peace and the harmony within the home, we don't give other people an opportunity to really learn their own lessons, how to manage and cultivate peace and harmony within themselves or within their environment. We rob them of that chance to do that. So that's why they are not as noble at first glance as they might seem.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where at first we don't really realize how often we are people pleasing. We don't really realize how often we are giving with conditions and how often we are trying to keep the peace. And when you start to just look for it and become more aware of it, then all of a sudden it's kind of like, whoa, like what's going on here? And that's okay, because it's just building that awareness is the first step to really setting yourself free from all these expectations that can be very, very heavy.
Exactly.
Our tip for you today to help you to stop people pleasing is to just start to become aware. Just start to recognize when you're giving to people, are you giving with conditions? And also look at when you're trying to keep the peace, how is that possibly actually causing more harm than it's helping? And all of this is just getting you to be more aware of what your actions are actually doing and what they're doing in the long term and not just in the short term. And as you start to become a little more aware of what's actually happening, it can help you to make more conscious decisions that can not only serve you better and help you to be less exhausted, but actually facilitate more connection with those around you, more honest connection versus this kind of give and take that's, happening behind the scenes that is causing you a lot of frustration. Yeah, so that's our tip for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to comment below your thoughts on people pleasing and how noble it may not actually be. And yeah, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys in the next video. This has been Morgan and Angie with the shift from people pleasing to empowered connection.